Hello everybody, my name is Benjamin Bloom. I have just witnessed Nottingham Forest 2, Ipswich Town 1 in the first game of the caretaker reign of Brian Clough and Gerard Nash, although Brian Clough stood back for most of the game and Gerard Nash was up the front doing a lot of the shouting. But Ipswich go in with a 3-5-2 formation, so he's kept the same formation, but a few little tweaks on what we saw recently. Bart in goal, so still no Webster, still no Chambers at the back. It's Spence, Carter, Vickers and Knudsen in a very patched up back three. Grant Ward plays at right wing back. We saw that for a little bit against Barnsley, but not before, so interesting to see what he did there. Kenlock left wing back, Skews, Nydam, Hyam in centre midfield. Martin Waghorn partnered up front by Ben Morris. So this, the big decision of Brian Clough. Normally we would get, in the absence of Garner, we'd get Freddie Sears there, or we've seen Carael there. Thought there might be a chance of Ben Falami there, but it's Ben Morris who gets to go up front in this new era of Ipswich Town. Forest, pretty much, I think, the same team they played against Brentford. They've been really short of goals, haven't scored for 6 games. So a bit of a case of, what's the Einstein quote? The definition of madness is repeating the same thing over again, hoping for different results. Well, they got a different result today. So Pantilimon in goal. The back four, Osborne, kind of midfielder playing at left back. Derricka is the other full-back. Fox, Figueiredo are the other centre-backs. Colback is kind of the deepest of the midfielders, with Guardiola and Watson ahead of him. Lolly is off to the right, Tomlin to the left, and Brereton up front. Very slow tempo in the first 10 minutes until a complete aberration by Ward plays a square ball to Spence. It's right past him. Spence is very sensible, actually. He gets out of the way, because if he takes Osborne out there, he's in a lot of trouble. There's a penalty, and I don't think they do the double jeopardy anymore, but he did the right thing. Trust your goalkeeper, says Alex Ferguson in those situations. Don't pull the guy down. Osborne goes through. He's one-on-one with Bart. He shoots left-footed. Bialkowski makes the save. Should have been 1-0 to Forest after 10 minutes. Ipswich come into it now. Hyam, good ball into the channel. Waghorn carries it inside, feeds Spence. Down he goes. No penalty. Watson feeds it through for Lolly. He gets it out of his feet. Low right footer. It's a good save, this. He's going right in the corner. You can see Bart makes the dive initially, and then he kind of thinks, oh crap, that's going in, and really stretches out and makes the save. 2 good saves from him early on. Carter, Vickers and Ward, they leave Brereton to each other. He cuts inside. This is a bit more comfortable for Bart, but it's a good shot by Brereton. It's on target, fairly powerful, and Bart makes the 3rd save on 24. Forest with the chances in the first quarter of this game. Ward on corners, not Waghorn. Waghorn goes near, he kind of shuffles it wide, and it's Ipswich's first effort and goal on 31. But with their second effort, Ipswich are gonna take the lead. So Knudsen looks like he's lining up to take a long throw. It's a bit of a decoy. Waghorn trots over and he throws it to him. Waghorn plays it back to Knudsen, and Kenlock is on the corner of the box. Knudsen feeds Kenlock, and Ipswich have men in the box here. Morris is up, and Kenlock swings it over, and Grant Ward is up. He's not been tracked on the back post, and from what I saw, he chests it into the goal. Pantilimon gets a good hand on it, but the pace of the cross from Kenlock means all Ward has to do is redirect it, and in it goes. And not against the run of play, but against the run of chances, Ipswich have the lead. They've knocked it around fairly tidily, but only really their second effort on goal. And well done, Ward, the wing-back, scoring after 37 minutes of his virgin wing-back appearance. Watson, again free from the corner. He skies the volley this time. In stoppage time, Spence with a great break feeds it to Waghorn. He gets to the byline. It goes all the way across. Nydam lifts it back over. His cross deflects. Pantilimon looks like he loses it, and it hits the top of the bar and goes out. So at half-time, Ipswich have the lead. We'll talk about the differences since Clough has been here for the past 3-4 days. Osborne with that really good chance for Forest and a couple of other chances. But Ipswich knock it round fairly well. The players have been used slightly differently. Skew seemed to take a while to adjust to the fact that he's not there to just clear up after a intensely pressing midfield. The tempo was slow from both teams, but on about 21 minutes, Ipswich played a 25-30 pass move that we just haven't seen for a long while. We don't know if this is going to be a scene change. It depends who's hired, but it was nice to see for that half, and you cannot argue with a 1-0 lead, even if they didn't necessarily edge the half in terms of chances. Right at the start of the second half, Ward goes down the right, puts a low cross in. Nottingham's there. He gets the shot off and it gets blocked. So good chance. This is the first of a few good chances for Ipswich at 1-0 that they would go on to regret missing. Ipswich are deep and narrow. The cross goes in. Guediora heads well wide. At this point, I'm thinking Ipswich cannot sit in that deep for the whole half, but they do eventually come out, possibly just missing that Chambers influence in the back three there. Waghorn with the free kick. It's a wide free kick. This is a good chance, this. Instead of putting it into the box, Hyam makes a run in sort of towards the near post. Waghorn plays it to him. Superb first touch by Hyam. Not only does he control it, takes his man out with the first touch, hits the shot across the keeper. Just wide. Great play by Hyam. Good chance. Another good chance for 2-0. Waghorn corner helped on by Spence Carter. Vickers is arriving. He's pretty much on the goal line and he's blocked out there. Another good chance for Ipswich. 4 corners in this period. Short corner here for Forest, and Watson heads wide. And here begin the substitutions. So we see a young Ipswich player going off on 55 minutes for the second time in a week. Morris goes off. Carayel comes on. I'm all for the young players coming in, but Morris was... It's sort of quiet today. Nice that he was given the chance, but he didn't have much influence on the game at all. Connolly comes in for Nidam just a minute later. Another Ipswich youngster going off. So Forest make the change that they really needed to make. Cash comes in for Guediora, who seemed to be slowing them down in midfield. I think Colback, Guediora and Watson none of them really wanted to bust forward, and I think Guediora was given that responsibility, didn't really use it. So Forest go to a 4-2-3-1, and you know that shape looks like it's going to suit them better. Deep cross, back post. Ward loses Osborne. He heads it down, but it goes wide. You've now got Forest pushing up quite high, and Carayel playing on the break here. We know about his pace. He carries it forward. Waghorn's in. It's a really weak pass by Carayel. Waghorn would have been in on goal, and he can't quite slide it across to him again. Ipswich in a good position at 1-0. Watson stands one up for Cash. Easy header. Bart with a great throw out down the middle. Carayel breaks, feeds Waghorn, who tries to chip Pantilimon, who is a very, very tall man, and maybe he should have put his laces through that one. Great break by Lolly here. He carries it and he carries it and he carries it. Ward's fouling him, I don't know, 10 yards before the actual offence is given. Ref tries to play advantage. Pulls it back. Ward takes the yellow card. And Tomlin, with a very lazy looking free kick over the bar. Good play by Lolly, though. Waghorn tries, I say once every 3 games, he tries his 40-yard volley towards goal. And he did one of these in the last game. So one day, Martin Waghorn is going to score a 40-yard volley and catch the goalie out. And I'm going to say I told you so in these videos, because he tries it quite a lot. Here's the key change. Velios comes on, a big guy up front to partner Brereton. Tomlin goes off and Brigcut goes out and... Brigcut comes on and Watson goes out. This gave Forest 2 things. It gave them a bit of height up front and a bit more speed in midfield. It wasn't exactly rocket science, but that made the difference ultimately as they go on to attack for these final minutes. Brilliant breakout by Kenlock. Beats his man, goes down the line, doesn't just lump it in the box. He feeds it back towards Carayel, gets out of his feet, left-footed, just wide of the post. Another chance for Ipswich at 1-0. They should have gone 2-0 up with any of these chances in the second half. Long balls picked on by flicked on, sorry, by Velios. Brereton goes in behind. Bart, good job in goal here. He stands up. Brereton knocks round him and he takes a dive. Brereton, and he takes a yellow card for that one. Lolly takes a curler on. Bart's taking no chances. He tips it over. Corner goes to the back post. Figueiredo overhead kick. The final of Klug's academy guys, Hyam, comes out. Gleeson comes in to hopefully shore up these last few minutes. Lolly beats Ward. Nice dribble on 85. Feeds Brereton. He's in. This is the chance for Forest, but it's not going to be their day. Carter Vickers slides in and makes the block, backing up Bart really, really well. And then we get the crazy last few minutes. So on 87, it's slid through to Brereton, and like at Birmingham, it's Carter Vickers conceding a penalty. Again, I've had one look at this in real time, and what I'll say again, Carter Vickers is the wrong side of Brereton. He bumps him slightly, there's contact, and down goes Brereton. So that's 3 penalties against Ipswich in, is that consecutive away games? There's 1 at Birmingham, 1 at Brentford, and 1 at Forest. So yeah, the penalties raining in on Ipswich. I can't really comment on whether it's a penalty or not. All I'll say is to those people who are going to tell me that the motion of the player down isn't proportional with the contact. This is what happens nowadays. It seems your punishment for getting in the wrong position in the box and making contact with somebody is a penalty again. So I'll have a look. I'd like to hear in the comments what we thought of that decision. It's a good penalty, Brereton. Considering Forest haven't scored for 6 games and 88 minutes at this point, I was quite impressed that Brereton runs over to take the ball. He wants to take the penalty, so that's good, admirable from him. And he does put it in off the post. Bart goes the right way, so it's a good penalty. And Forest have secured the draw. 5 minutes of stoppage time. Skews went down, Waghorn went down, a few substitutions. I hate 5 minutes of stoppage time after the Norwich game. But surely Forest aren't going to win, are they? Bridcut with their last chance on 94. Curler and Bart makes the save. But, Jesus Christ, Ipswich are going to lose. It's a big boot down the middle. Now, where this all goes wrong is Velios is standing in an offside position, but doesn't challenge for the ball. So rightly the linesman doesn't flag, and this confuses the Ipswich back three. They don't really get it clear and their line gets a bit confused. They're kind of diluted and they work their way back and their team shape's gone. So out it goes to Brereton, who takes the dribble. He takes another touch. He curls it over to the back post. Lolly is backing up there. He's unmarked. He's in the box. He hits it on the volley, left-footed. It's a really good connection, and it's the power of it that beats Białkowski in the goal. He gets 2 good hands on it at the near post, but sheer power. No real fault of Bart's there, because Lolly hits it so hard. You would have had to have been dead behind it, and he's just over to the side, and even the big pole in the goal isn't going to save that, and he parries it into the net. Somehow Forest have won simply by making this sub at 77, sticking a big guy on. Fair dues to them. They went for it at the end and they got the win. So in the new era of Ipswich Town, in Brian Klug's first game, Ipswich fall to a pretty sad defeat at the end. And you can tell from my comments, I'm not being a biased Ipswich supporter. Ipswich should have won that game. Okay, they may have been a touch lucky to go in 1-up at half-time. They weren't necessarily the better side. But at 1-0, all those chances, Carter Vickers on the goal line, Hyam just wide of the post, Carroll just wide of the post, Nottingham has his shot blocked out right at the start of the second half. They really, genuinely, I'm not being biased, they could have easily gone 2-0 up, and I think that would have killed off Forest. As it was, the narrative of the game says that Ipswich sunk further back, which allowed Forest to bring in the big guy, go 4-4-2, bring Bridcut in, a bit more pace in midfield, a bit more energy to their play, and it was just a case of they just went for it at the end. Got the penalty. We'll have a look on the TV and see, but it is what it is. And yeah, they've got men forward at the end. Bit of confusion, like I say, with people thinking Velios was offside, but he wasn't offside because he didn't play the ball. That's the rule. If he doesn't play it, then he's not off, and that confusion leads in. But good finish by Lolly, and there you go. Ipswich lose in Klug's first of his caretaker games. So there are positives for Ipswich today. I don't know what's happened to Luke Hyam. I was pretty low on him. I thought he ran around like a headless chicken. But in these past 2 games, the Brentford game was a bit of a nothing game. But today, he played very well. Used the ball well, played very calmly, didn't rush around like a headless chicken. I enjoyed Hyam. I also enjoyed Kenlock today. There's something there. There's a player there. If he gets a run of games, he may be able to work into a good championship player. And he's young enough, and I think now maybe, depends who comes in. Now's a chance to maybe give him an extended go. Nottingham was okay. The midfield looked a bit of a different shape today. There wasn't necessarily one sitting. They looked more in a row, the 3. Skews didn't really seem his normal self. I think he's used to playing a more of a firefighter type role, and we know he's not necessarily a playmaker, so he might take some adjustment. And I'm all for Ben Morris, I'm all for Ben Falami, but Morris didn't have an impact on the game really at all today. But we've got to give these guys a chance. So I'd be very interested to hear my Ipswich brethren, your comments. Bit of a sad demise at the end of the game to lose, but I think the overwhelming thing is a bit of sort of positivity today, because we can see different things happening. We can see some passing. We can see Ward at the back. In the wing back position is certainly a better footballing outlet, and a bit more of an intention rather than just pushing up and playing at 100 miles an hour to play some football, which maybe long term is a better strategy given our budget and our players for going up the table. And we cannot forget, and this was an excuse previously as well, though, Chambers is not there today, Webster is not there today, Dazelle is not there, Hughes is not there, Adeyemi's not there, Bishop is not there, Garner's not there. That's 7 potential first team players who are not there today, who probably will be there next season. So if you're an Ipswich fan, let me know the positives today and what you think of the first game of the Klug era. If you're a Forest fan, teetering with relegation, so good win for you today. It looks as though Karanka's teams are a bit too conservative and a bit too slow in midfield. And has he learned the lesson today that sometimes championship football, 4-4-2, get the big guy on, get a bit of pace in midfield and go for the jugular, and they broke their goal drought and they got their win. So Forest fans will be very interested. What do you do going forward? And Karanka long term, does he need to be a little less conservative? As usual, follow me on Twitter at Benjamin Bloom. Give me a subscribe, give me a thumbs up. And I challenge myself not to mention a certain person in this match review today, because we've been talking about him all bloody week, and I did it. I got through 18 minutes without mentioning that person, who I'm not going to mention. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.